Good afternoon, America. Have a little conversation about Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. And again, I'm going to try to hold my tongue because I get really upset about certain things that are really fucking dumb, but I can see coming that anybody could. I mean, I'm sure everybody was thinking this, and I got on YouTube and I saw actually, I just got on the fucking phone today and clicked over my news links and reading through some of the news and stuff, and heard he died on Sunday, and then really no one knew what the hell was going on, and how could this happen? Everybody knew he was a suicide watch, but then they took him out, whatever. And I just want to go over some simple facts because I've been in jail before. I hate to say it, I've been in many jails. Not for long-term stays, though. Mostly overnighters, 1 5-day stay, you know. They always leave the light on for you. I love it. But I don't. So I don't get in trouble and go to jail. But anyway, it's been kind of a conversation a lot of people have been having. It's like, I don't think Jeffrey Epstein is going to make it out of jail and make it to trial. He's probably going to end up getting offed. And when we say getting offed, it wasn't like, he was going to do it, because I'm going to let you know right out of the gate. It is really hard, really, really hard to kill yourself in jail. There's not a lot of sharp edges. You ain't got really anything to tie on to really hang on that tight, especially for your body weight. And the way you would have to do it would be so severely, like, you'd have to have some serious mental will to want to die. Like, serious mental will. I mean, especially if you're going to try to hang yourself, as they're saying he did. All right, so let's just say here, most jails I've been to don't actually have bunks with bars on them. The bunks are actually built into the wall and bolted to the wall. So there's nothing really to loop anything over unless you got it over the corner, right? And there are no doorknobs inside a jail cell either. They're all remotely open and closed, even if it's a regular door. You have a little stool that comes out of the wall that's bolted to the wall as well. You have a little desk looking thing that's bolted to the wall. All this stuff's approximately, like a regular height of a table. The stool is probably maybe 18 inches off the ground. The upper bunk, I think, might be 4.5 feet tall or lower. Now, I knew Jeffrey Epstein was kind of a short guy, but still, you'd have to hold on to your ankles and flying Dutchman style. Hold on to your ankles as you're like gagging yourself to death. If you could get your apparatus to hang on to the corner, the absolute corner, which we're talking like a hard 90 sheet metal broke over corner. So you'd have to make a loop, and then you'd have to try not to freaking dangle at the bottom because you'd slip right the fuck off. So that's almost impossible. So there's that. All right, so there's that aspect. Now let's go to the sink toilet combo. Most jail cells have these. Almost all of them do. Some of the older ones have like the old school, like instead of having an actual water faucet, it's like a little hole that shoots water at you. And you got to wash your hands one at a time. Like, you soap up, hold the button, rinse one hand off, and then, hold the button, rinse the other hand off kind of deal. And that's sitting on top of a toilet. He would have had better luck drowning himself in the toilet, which is still really, really hard to do. If that's what he did, that takes some real self-motivation to die. Really, it does. Now, if it's an older style toilet sink combo, it'll have the actual water fountain knob on the end of it. But since they have found people roping their garments over that hook and trying to like face down hang themselves in a push-up style, which you would usually typically collapse with no oxygen, and your body weight would pick you up and then you wouldn't strangle yourself to death because you'd have relaxed. You wouldn't be holding your body weight against your throat anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I've been to jails in 6 different states, and they're all pretty much almost the same, almost. If there was bars on there, usually the bars don't go all the way to the top, so it'd be really hard to hang yourself off the bar. Most jail cells don't have windows, and the jail cells that do have windows don't have bars on the inside of the window. The bars are on the outside of the window. And you can't open that fucking window unless you break it. And if you break it, it sounds an alarm. So they stop putting people in places with windows. Now, this is a jail. This ain't prison. Prison cells are way different, okay? But he was being held in what is a federal jail cell while he was going through his thing, right? So I'm just going to say, committing suicide, I mean, like, yeah, they probably found bruising on his neck because he did something stupid, like try to hang himself off a very low object until he passed out and then collapsed, and his body weight hit the floor and relaxed his throat enough to get blood circulation through, and he couldn't die. I mean, that's that. I mean, other than, and honestly, you got to give you're not allowed to keep your sporks in prison. You can have made but he didn't stab himself. Apparently, that's we don't know that. We just know he was suffocated or died from strangulation, which is really fucking hard to do in a jail. Really fucking hard. It's almost impossible. You'd be better off making a shank out of a toothbrush or a spork, but usually guards check your toothbrush daily. Some of them actually make you give up your toothbrush daily, where you get a new toothbrush every morning. They give you breakfast and they give you a toothbrush with your breakfast. And then after you're done eating and the guards come back around, you got to give up all your shit they gave you. You're not allowed to keep it. And I don't see you making shanks out of a rubber flip-flop, so that ain't happening. So, I mean, depending on what happened, I mean, if he died from strangulation, I mean, I don't know, maybe he tore a piece of his arm off, or arm material off and tried swallowing it until he choked on it, which would be excruciatingly painful. I mean, who knows? We'll wait to see what the investigation is, but still, yeah, bottom line is first he was alone in his jail cell, which I can see why. He's a pedophile. Even hardened criminals don't like pedophiles, and they probably would have fucked him up. He would probably have gotten murdered in prison instead of committing or not prison, but jail. Murdered in jail, you know, way different, way harder to do. But still, yeah, he's a child toucher, and child touchers are not appreciated in prison or jails or anything like that. So those kinds of folks with those kinds of charges usually have to stay by themselves. And typically, when you go to a jail like that, they have a camera on you and a guard outside your room all the fucking time. So, which brings me to my next point. I just wanted to get you I've been there, I've been in jails. I've thought about doing stupid shit like that, especially for my last 5-day trip, but I knew I was only there for 5 days. Not a big deal. But, you know, I've gotten caught with some weird shit and ended up just getting probation out of it, and I was thinking I was going to go to prison for a long time. Didn't want to deal with that, right? So, you know, you actually get into jail and you start thinking about how hard it is to kill yourself in a fucking jail cell. It's really fucking hard. Not easy. It's extremely hard. Extremely hard, especially if you're going to hang yourself. That's ridiculous. The only thing I can see you doing is, if you're going to try to strangulate yourself, you'd have to actually, like, eat your flip-flop. Or try to tear a corner of your sheet off, or your jumpsuit, whatever they call it. I can't remember what they call them there, but your colors, take those off and try to tear an arm off and wad it up and swallow it and suck down a whole bunch of water to get collapsed in your windpipe. That'd be one way of doing it, but he was trying to strangle himself before. So, again, that's a very, very hard thing to do because the bottoms of the bunks are also flat sheet metal. So that's very hard to do. There's nothing to wrap something around and hang yourself with in a jail. Like I said, it's almost impossible. You'd have to have help. Like someone would actually have to strangle you. Which brings my next point. I've also, known about the Clintons and their long history of people that die. There's a couple of different videos out there you could watch. Lots of them. Clintons are some pretty terrible mob bosses. Extremely harsh mob bosses. They will kill the people closest to them to keep their asses from getting caught up and brought out. Do I know this for a fact? Not necessarily. Is it a conspiracy theory? Probably, but if you go back to the 90s, and kind of all the way up, that was the biggest killing spree they had back then. 94, I think there was like 3 or 4 of the people that were real close to the Clintons. I mean, for Christ's sake, Bill Clinton's fucking deaf interpreter was killed. Pregnant. Let's not get that fact twisted. I don't know how that happened. Shot in the back of the head. With kid. It's fucked. Was the kid Bill's? Who knows? But Bill and Hillary run a very tight-knit operation of justifiable shit that's just wrong. And we all know Bill Clinton has a thing for young women. AKA, does anybody remember Monica Lewinsky? She was of age. We don't know how far back he likes them young. You know what I mean? You think we're going to find that? Who do you think runs the deep state? The Clintons. I think Obama got in office. The Clintons. I'm not going to try to get into it and say I know anything because the Clintons can't kill me. You know why? Because I really don't know anything. But the history is there. Do your research. Seriously, just get on there and look at it. So, I mean, when I saw that he was dead, and they say he hung himself in a jail cell, which is so unlikely, it's not even funny. So they're trying to say that he was left alone for hours. Fuck, it would take you almost 10 hours to figure out how you're going to do it. I obviously had an idea before because he tried, but he was unsuccessful. And that's probably because everything's so low to the ground. Once you passed out and collapsed from no oxygen, you would relax. You're not high enough. You don't have enough body weight on your neck anymore to strangle your ass to death. So, just saying, these are all questions concerning my handy dandy little head here that I can't wait. I really can't wait. I can't wait. I hope they look into bank accounts. Because someone got paid off for not watching the guy. They're going to say they're understaffed, this, that, and the other thing. I don't see that as... With a high-profile guy like that in prison or in jail, awaiting trial for molesting how many freaking young women with how many elite dudes. For Christ's sake, the other Prince of England's involved in this. I mean, there's some highly profiled, elite, rich people that all like themselves some young little girls, which is all really sick, which brings me to the fact that they are fucking sick. I mean, why don't you just go to Mexico, man? They got plenty of age fucking girls that do that shit for $5, man. And they like it. I'm not promoting freaking prostitution, but there are people out there that, that like doing that kind of work. You know what I mean? Hell, you wouldn't be able to go to Las Vegas or outside Las Vegas and do that kind of thing unless it was women there that wanted to participate and get paid for doing it, right? So the whole thing's sick. The whole fucking idea of everything was going on sick. And the thing that really sickens me the most is Epstein was a circle of an elite underage prostitution ring, which is even more sick. And there are older women involved helping him out. We don't know that for a fact because we don't have the... But there's people out there that know the truth. And I ain't going to say that Barack Obama doesn't know. I'm not going to say that Bill Clinton doesn't know. I'm not going to say Hillary Clinton doesn't know. I'm not going to say that everybody knows. Why do you think Trump threw him out of Mar-a-Lago? He probably spouted off some dumb shit about that shit and asked Trump if he wanted to come hang out. And Trump's like, fuck no. I could fuck 20-year-olds for free, dude. Just saying. My boy Trump wouldn't get into that shit.
He likes porn stars.
Yeah, porn stars.
He's not into 14-year-olds. That shit's
Yeah.
sick.
That's fucking wrong.
That's like Bill Clinton shit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So we'll find out what goes down because I think this is all going to turn into a whole shit show. It really is. I think this is going to turn into such a shit show that once Russiagate gets blown the fuck open, or Spygate, or whatever they call it, I think there's going to be a lot of connections to the left and probably a couple of really gnarly fucking real bad demonic Republicans out there that were really super rich that got in on all this weird demonic shit that they got going on. But I see Spygate and Epstein's fucking sick, deranged fucking pedophilia circle and all the people that were involved in all that shit getting caught up. And if they don't get caught up, I'm gonna lose all disrespect for the FBI, the Department of Justice, the CIA. I'm gonna lose all respect for all of those people because the facts are there. We just got to find them. And like I said, I would fucking start looking into and even the guy that used to run the federal the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Yes.
Said that it was all miscalculations from the top. Not necessarily the jailers, but all this shit came from the top of that person that ran that jail all the way down. So if you're going to run an investigation, and if I was Bill Barr, don't smoke cigarettes if you're not old enough to smoke cigarettes. And if you already smoking cigarettes, you need to quit. But if you're not, it's an American choice. Hooray for freedom. But back to my point. If I was William Barr, Bill Barr, and anybody of any kind of power, the first thing I would look at would be I would subpoena everybody's bank accounts. All known bank accounts right out of the gate. Because someone got paid. Someone got paid pretty healthy to make that happen. And then I'd be going through all those cameras that entire night to see what the hell happened. Because if he hung himself, it was a barred door, like a barred gated door. You would see some form of hands going over and him tying up his homemade noose out of his rags, or you would see something. But I have a feeling that maybe that the cameras weren't turned on. They're not going to release that if they were or they weren't. But I hope they do. And I think Barr is going to get us there. But I'm just saying, I truly believe that, I'm not saying it was the Clintons, but someone that Epstein knew that was really, really up there, fuck, it could have been the British. I mean, fucking royalty was known to go to that island. Royalty, folks. And the elite like to maintain that they're super untouchable until they fuck up, and then you get done. So I'm just saying, man. People know exactly what happened. We're gonna find out, and I guarantee it wasn't Epstein did this on his own. I guarantee you that much. I almost put I put $100 on it. If he didn't do it, message me when the verdict comes out. Message me on YouTube. Let me know, hey, Chris, verdict came out. He actually did it on his own. They went through and did an absolute investigation, and he died on his own. I don't believe it for a minute. And if he did die on his own, he did do it on his own, I want to see a handful of freaking badass elites fucking getting ready to get fucking thrown into prison over some shit.
Fuck yeah. Every last one of them deserves it.
Fucking A. Just because you're fucking super rich in America doesn't mean you get to do whatever the fuck you want. Even if I was super rich, what do you think I'd be fucking doing, man? I'd be on a yacht somewhere. Hanging out. Fucking international waters. Catching really big fucking fish. Doing crazy shit. With jet skis. And staying away from great white sharks. Unless I was in a shark cage, because I'd probably own one of those. If I was that rich. Or if I was that rich, I'd probably figure out a way to go down there and hire a bunch of people and overthrow fucking Venezuela and call that my own country. Just saying. I'd make it way better than what they got it now. But that's a whole different story. Going back to that later. But I'm just saying shit I would do if I was rich. But it would definitely not be prostituting out little girls for sure. And people that are that rich that think that that's okay, fuck them. I want to see them hang. And I personally think if there's anybody in freaking politics that was involved in that shit and they get ousted and they get caught and the Clintons or whoever the fuck's behind all this shit get ousted, I think it should be public hangings. I think it should be right there in Washington, D.C. We'll spend $50 a ticket. I bet you'd have to do it in an arena. You have to go down to my favorite team, the Redskins arena. I would. I'd hang them all. But that's just me. Anyway, I just want you guys to kind of keep your thinks going here. You know, the people are saying conspiracies are, you know, there was a conspiracy. Conspiracy theories are now running. And they're getting rampant. So you better ramp up, put on your freaking tinfoil wearing hats, because there might be a UFO involved in this one, boys. I don't know. Bigfoot might kind of climb out of fucking Hillary Clinton's ass and be like, hey, what's up? Who knows? This could get real fucking nutty, but I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of freaking really rich, wealthy, powerful people that if Bill Barr does his job right, is going to figure out exactly what happens. And the shitty part about it is I really hope that they don't go after Bill Barr. Because if Bill Barr dies suddenly from some sort of heart attack or stroke or car accident or fucking airplane crash, like what usually happens when these kinds of things happen, these people do fall down. And they will clean their tracks. And the next person that comes in will know better to go after that. But let's hope that everybody's got the security they need and they can get to the truth. And we see freaking politicians just start dropping like flies that are involved in this bullshit. I do think Spygate and Epstein are related. I really do. I guarantee it is. And I can't wait to see. Might take 18 months, might take 18 years to figure it out, but hopefully I'm not dead before then. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd wake your eyes up to that. I love you to death. You guys having an amazing work week, and keep your heads up. Don't worry about this shit too much, but definitely keep your eyes on it. It'd be definitely fun to watch to see what the fuck happens. So, anyway, I love you, America. Have fun.